Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for coming to this special symposium. It's a great honor for me to share my study about disrupted rich club organization impacts tremor recovery after MRgFUS Thalamotomy in patients with essential tremor. Today, I'll talk about my recent research. Essential tremor is one of the most common movement disorders characterized by bilateral upper limb posture or kinetic tremor as well as non-motor symptoms such as cognitive disorders, depressive symptoms, and sleep patterns abnormality. Currently, up to 5% of the population over 65 years suffers from ET, and many patients respond poorly to classical medication therapy, which poses heavy burdens annually, estimated at $143 billion on society. MR-guided focused ultrasound is a newly developed technology in the treatment of this medication refractory ET patients, with the advantages of no need for anesthesia, real-time temperature detection, and no anodyne radiation. MRgFUS can improve tremor rate by nearly 50% and enhance quality of life for ET patients. Despite promising efficacy in the treatment of ET, the underlying mechanism of MRgFUS in ET patients is not clearly understood. As we all know, the brain is a tightly connected structural architecture, and even the slightest disruption of it can have serious consequences, and it exhibits non-trivial graph metrics such as rich club organization and small world. Small world properties reflect two fundamental organizations: functional segregation and functional integration. The former characterizes the ability for specialized processing to occur within densely interconnected groups of brain regions, whereas the latter characterizes the ability for information communication between disrupted brain regions. Rich club organizations known as network hubs form a high-capacity central core, play a key role in promoting global information integration, which supports efficiency communication theory in the brain. We constructed structure network in 27 ET and 28 age and gender-matched healthy controls, using diffusion MRR and deterministic tractography. Midterm 27 ET patients followed up on their clinical and imaging data from baseline to 6 months post-operation. Group differences in rich club organization and other network topological metrics were investigated. The relationship between altered network topological metrics and clinical scores were calculated. Table 1 is shown demographic and clinical characteristic. Figure 1. Rich club organization of the healthy controls group and essential tremor group. The figure A shows normalized rich club coefficients and actual rich club coefficients. Normalized rich club coefficients greater than 1 represent rich club organization exist in two groups. The figure B shows the distribution of rich club organization. The right circle represents rich club regions. The gray circles represent no rich club regions. The classification of rich club organization, including rich club feeder and local connections. Figure 2 shows the strength of rich club feeder and local connections in the structural networks between HC group and ET groups. A two-sample independent t-test was employed to test between HC group and AT group. The results found that the strength of rich club connections were significantly increased, while strength of feeder and local connections were significantly decreased. In AT pre-operation group compared with healthy group. There were also significantly difference in strength of rich club feeder and local connections between HC and AT. We further compared the difference between AT pre-operation group and AT 6 months post-operation group with the use of paired found between the strength of feeder and the clinical scores for the right-hand tremor at pre-operation. A negative correlation was also found between the correlations between graphic and tremor improvement. This study has several limitations. First, a small sample size may limit the generalizability of our results. Second, wider weighted network could provide more information to reflect the symptotopologic dynamics for brain graph compared to the binary network has been debated for a long time. The weighted network for this field is still worth further exploration. Finally, a common problem in DTI studies is that the employment of a deterministic trajectory resulting from crossing pathways which hinder in correctly tracing fiber streamlines may lead to the loss of fibers. In summary, this is an important research to assess the effects of MRgFUS Thalamotomy on structure network. Hence, we can conclude that changes of network topologic metrics differed significantly between the healthy controls and AT patients, and MRgFUS may act disorder recovery on the structure network. Importantly, gamma and sigma-related tremor improvement after MRgFUS Thalamotomy, playing a role in inflecting tremor improvement for clinical treatment. That's all. Thanks for your listening.